Hey, everybody. Today we have Taylor Brune here with us. She's from the Medical Minder. She does virtual agents. She's a VA. She has a team. So she does social media management, course development, like basically anything that you need, like for a physician, she can handle as far as social media courses, just expanding, getting you talks, growing your business, getting you leads. So Taylor, you've been here a number of times speaking to the Female Physician Entrepreneurs Group. Thank you so much for doing that. Take it away. Today we're going to be speaking about content creation, specifically on Instagram, but honestly, this can apply to any platform. So thank you for doing this for us.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sharon, for having me be able to speak to everyone. Okay, everyone, I'm just going to real quick share my screen. Give me one moment. And then screen mode. Okay. All
Guys,
right. Oh, yes. Go
I
ahead.
have to be quiet. I mean, point this out. See the logo, great picture of Taylor, nice content reading, like it looks nice, it looks sophisticated. So this is what we want to put out into the presence. Like that logo is there, it has a stethoscope, definitely draws attention. And now I will meet myself.
It's totally okay. Thank you. Yeah, creating the slideshows is so fun because you get to kind of play around with the different, um, pictures and slide mechanics. But anyways, thank you so much to those who showed up, and thank you for those who are watching the replay. My name's Taylor, and my business is the Medical Minder Virtual Agency. Today, we're going to talk about content planning for Instagram or any type of social media platform. I just say Instagram because a lot of physicians are on Instagram as their main social platform. Okay, so today it's mainly just going to be types of content. Now, this topic can be spread out in so many different, sectors and talks. So I have one particular way that we're going to go, and it's basically just going to give you examples of what types of content is ideal for you to share, and then more detailed different types of topics for different specialties. I didn't think we'd have enough time to go through, all the specialties and all the different niches. But I did put a few examples like for an OBGYN, a cardiologist, a sports physician, things like that at the end. So if you'll want to screenshot or take some notes, those are some of the posts that I found with some past clients that have really helped, boost their niche. But first, we're going to go through the types of educational or the types of content. Now, before I begin, the most important thing to remember is before deciding what types of content you're going to post, you create your own strategy specifically to the types of goals that you have with social media, business, sales, of digital products, etc. So these essentially are just, the themes of topics that you can pick. And it doesn't have to be all of them. Each person, what I've found, depending on their goals and their niche, and, their business, they will pick, some humor with educational, with some personal, or someone would just do educational, informational. So it's really just deciding on your own, and hopefully, in the future workshop, I'll be able to do a topic that will help you plan your content strategy out for the new year, more interactive. So that's what I was thinking. But today, here are some topics. So the first one, everyone should have, though, at least a few posts of educating, because what this does is it puts you in the role of a thought leader, an expert in your field, and also, showing the truth behind, because, a majority do share medical information as physicians. It's not just coaching or, a real estate business. Like a lot of women physician entrepreneurs share, medical insights, medical posts. So what you want to do is also incorporate educational, because, you're essentially, as a doctor, teaching your patients. So you're going to be teaching your audience. So this is always the number one, in my opinion, that always does really well, because people go to Instagram and TikTok and YouTube as search, like Google search. So they're like asking questions or typing in the search feed, what is this? And then your content will pop up. But anyways, so for educational content, what is that? So like, for example, like how to blah, 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 or quick stress relief techniques. It's educational based off your niche, actionable health tips, actionable business tips, actionable medical tips. You can do myth busting, like common myths in your specialty, your niche, your business. And then you put like the truth. That's been actually really it works really well with a lot of different niches. We've tried different myths, and then you can create the content differently through videos, through the graphics, through the carousels, etc. And then always want to explain like your niche terminology too, as your foundational posts in your Instagram profile, so that people can understand what you're talking about. Because medical terminology, us in healthcare, we have to take medical terminology classes in the very beginning. So that kind of, helps you be able to transition it and be able to simplify it for your audience. You want to do facts like from your patients' followers, and you can get that from, Facebook groups. You can do it from research on different websites on Google, and also in your own search, with other competitor accounts. But always you want to answer questions. You want to ask questions, even in the comments, even in your CTA, in your captions. You always want to see, what questions they have, because those are usually more viral posts. Like if you do healthy lifestyle tips aligning with your brand, this will also show your passion and healthy habits too. So it's showing you're educational, but it's also showing, you are an expert in this and you do it as well. So you want to share behind the scenes content. Now, this is what a lot of physicians, women physician entrepreneurs forget, and that's okay. Because essentially you want to, before you start sharing behind the scenes, you want to establish the boundaries. Like, how much of your life are you desiring to show? Are you desiring to show a little bit about your family life, your hobbies, etc.? You really want to figure out how much behind the scenes you want to share with the world. But you always do want to share a little bit inside, because then it shows your humanness and your relatability. So this can be like a day in your life, glimpse of your day as a doctor, as a businesswoman, before you go on a call with a client, just be like, oh, heading to do a meeting with a client. We're going to talk about this, this, and this. Then people are like, oh, reminder, this is what she does. This is who she helps. And then it's kind of cool to see, the background, a day in a life of just what you do, why you're doing it. Office tours, meet your team, that helps you. Medical behind the scenes, which a lot of doctors do. And of course, you kind of have to work your way around HIPAA and, patients being able to sign the waivers of, showing their faces if you do like befores, afters. But, if you want to do like preps for surgery, you scrubbing up, or before you scrubbing up, before client call, showing you working on a course or book. This is actually very important for course launches and book launches. You do want to show, maybe like a couple months before, you working on what you're going to sell. Like this was a huge, thing for a couple of people that I helped. And because they saw the story and the process of them creating the course, they ended up having more courses sold. Because it's including your audience in the process of building this beautiful course. So that is just a little insight. And you don't have to share like the content of what you're creating. You can just share like, I'm working on my course modules, I'm filming my course modules today, etc. Just kind of keep it general, but just enough to show them, and include them in the process. Okay, so also event participation, conferences. People love this. People, especially patients, and clients who want to know that you're continuing your education, you're constantly learning, you're up on, the new trends of whatever it is in your field, in your niche. they want to see, oh, they aren't just behind the camera all the time. They go out and, collaborate with other experts in their field. And it's really cool to see conferences, and share what you learned. Today's day conference one, at my medical conference, we're learning about, this technology, this surgical skill, etc. So that's really important too. And then of course, behind the scenes, if you want to include some family, like maybe not show their faces, but you can do, we're going on a vacation, we're traveling this next month. Here is some of the ways that we're prepping. And then you can kind of include other people in your audience, and somehow relate it a little bit to your niche business. You can align it with some content strategy. But anyways, a lot of people also do like their journey to having kids. A really famous Dr. Majestic MD. She might have changed her handle, but I followed her probably since 2017, I believe, like in the beginning. Like she showed her entire process of getting married to her fireman husband. She's an ER doctor. She shared her entire process, getting pregnant and the struggles. And that's how she built her audience. And, she included them in the behind the scenes and the triumphs and the challenges. And that's really, how you're going to build relationships and essentially sales. And it is a long-term commitment, and it is a long-term action step in order to grow your audience and get sales, but it's worth it in the end because these people are rooting for you and they will buy what you're offering, and they will engage too. They will engage with your content. And then your travels, your journey through medicine, etc. You also want to include patient client stories, testimonials. This is, for social proof. You want to do success stories like videos or graphics. The videos would be if they agree, to talk about it. And then if they don't, you just go in and create videos that this is a patient that came in, these were the problems, this is what we did, and this is how the patient's doing now. And then at the end of the video, if they included like a written testimonial, you can put it at the end. But this shows people who are going through the same problem and issue that they're looking to you to possibly hire, or become a patient of yours. They're seeing, okay, she helped this person do this. That means that she can help me do it too. And therefore I'm going to purchase from her and become a client or a patient. So that's actually been a really good viral type of video for a lot of clients too, especially on TikTok. And you can even do green screen in them as well. Like you can show like this is like, for example, one of the clients is a pediatric rheumatologist. And so we do, and we'll talk a little bit more about this later, but she does green screen. This is a pediatric case that came in with this rash. Parents look for this rash for lupus, etc. So it kind of also, is educational a little bit, and it's visual so that they'll remember, oh, this was the case that came in. And she's done really well with her pediatric rheumatology cases / testimonials and success stories. But yeah, and you want to make sure you do anonymous if they don't, sign any waivers. And then videos, written lives, collabs. Yeah, you can even do collabs, like if, your client or a patient that agrees to collab with you, if they have a huge following too, you always want to try to do like lives or collabs with them, and that they can share their experience working with you. Those would be really good too. Oh yeah. And, always highlight how your work has made impact in the person's lives for any testimonial piece of content that you do. How have you made an impact? What have you done to transform their lives? This is what people are searching for. They focus more on the transformation, and what you can offer them, the new life that they're looking for. So that's a key too. Personal content. Once again, this is trying to figure out your boundaries, how much personal life you want to share. But share why you became a doctor, why you became an entrepreneur, your personal journey. how you balance work and life. A lot of people need to know that. We all have problems overworking and stressing and burning ourselves out. And, sharing our experience with that, no matter what niche you are, everyone can learn from that. Um, and even personal achievements and challenges that you have overcome. This is huge. Like I mentioned before, you want to be relatable to your audience, and that's how you grow the trust, and that's how you grow sales too, is just being able to share the challenges you've overcome and the personal achievements, because humans aren't perfect, none of us are, and we all are in the same boat of learning and growing constantly. And if we come humbly and genuinely and authentically ourselves and our journey, people will respect that more. And they will follow that more, and they will purchase from that more. So that's always a key. And then interactive, engaging content. Now, this is, trial and error, and it's okay. Like, we have no control over the types of content that will randomly go viral. And then the content that doesn't, we could put hours into this one video or this one piece of content, and it doesn't get that much engagement. You just never know. And this is also where strategy comes in, and analyzing your analytics. But that will be discussed later. But you want to try to make content as engaging as you can, and that's relatable, genuine, authentic. You want to do Q&A sessions, like on your stories, lives, through reels. Always put the polls and surveys in your stories. Those are always fun. And then it also kind of triggers the algorithm. The more people interact with your stories, the more it shows your profile to other people. So that was always helpful. And then you can even do polls and surveys as content feed too. And then have people comment. And you can always, kind of give them incentives, like, here, have a freebie, email freebie. If you comment, I'll send you a link, etc. It's just ways to kind of offer and then also receive. Because essentially, when you do poll surveys, you're also kind of knowing where people are, what they want to see. And that helps to do probably like every few months, because, it changes, your audience changes, and their interests change. And so you'll just always kind of have to pivot your content depending on your audience. And but you'll still want to be genuine and authentic to yourself and post what you want as well. And then also sharing like workshops you have done, clips of the highlighted topics, podcasts you've been on, etc. And then, make the caption interactive and be like, what do you think of this? Comment below, let's have a conversation, etc. So you just want to share and have them interact in different ways. And then, it's important to have content showing your thought leadership and advocacy, especially if part of your niche is advocating, for patients' health, for healthcare workers' health, or rights, women's rights, etc. Whatever type of advocacy, your niche or business has. If it does. If it doesn't, then you don't need to worry about it. Just focus on the thought leadership. But if your niche and content is around advocacy, you definitely want to create different types of content, and share the news and the policies, and you can green screen it and talk about your opinion with it. Sometimes the more controversial topics of different policies and sharing your opinion will become more viral. Because it's more controversial. But of course, you want to strategize so that your account doesn't get, shadow banned or flagged in any way. So that's more strategy you gotta think about if you want to become if you want to share a little bit more controversial topics. But usually, recent changes in any policies or advocacy that you're sharing, you want to align with your niche, how it can impact your patient or your client. How is this relevant to them? Why are you sharing it? Industry trends, insights on, emerging trends in healthcare, if you're healthcare. You want to create different types of advocacy campaigns, promote them, partner with others so that it's not just you, and you get multiple people, and you can even have, virtual events and, create freebies or sell a product, a digital product about advocacy, what they need to know, etc. So this is more specific to advocacy and that type of niche. You always want to have marketing promotion of you and what you offer because, essentially you do want to eventually monetize your social media. And while sometimes it takes a little bit longer, for some people, and it is a long-term goal and game. It is, imperative that you start now, creating content, building up and sharing the services you offer, how you can help them, upcoming events that you're hosting, workshops, community events that you're participating in, and doing lives too. You want to share this because, essentially you're creating a platform, not just for beautiful aesthetic and sharing with your friends and family, but, you're creating a platform to promote your business and make sales eventually. And you'll want to do so this is something that is very important too, that I found. And it's kind of looked over, but having special offers, promotions, discounts, offering freebies, even if you make a goal for 1 year, share one freebie per month. That will bring in tons of people and they'll end up wanting to buy more products of yours. The more people, build that knowledge of learning what you do and how you can help them, the more they'll buy from you. They might not buy from you if you don't have any examples of showing them how you can help them. And unfortunately, sometimes you have to create these freebies, create extra videos of, quality, sharing this content that you would only put in, a presentation yourself or a course. Sometimes you got to give to receive more. And that's something a lot of people forget, to incorporate these freebies and even discounts and giveaways and promotions for your products and services. Because that's also what brings in more audience and following engagement. And then you want to have post collaboration networking, interviews with experts in your field, in your niche, even competitors, just collaborating with your competitors and their audience will come in with you, your audience them, people that can help your audience who aren't competitors directly, just different types of content that will include other people so that your audience can filter in from different streams and avenues. Having guest appearances, people love it. Seeing, new content, fresh opinion in your specific niche. And then, like I said, cross promotions with other businesses or practitioners. Like even if you do, a live workshop with 3 different specialties, if you're talking about, anti-aging and, you bring in a dermatologist and then you bring in like a neurologist, and then you bring in, an integrative medicine physician. You have different people that can offer, different advice and wisdom from their experiences, but it's on this one topic. And then you're also, having other people promote your specific event, workshop, live. So collaborating and networking is always really good. And even podcast interviews, getting on other people's podcasts, that is huge because that opens so many doors, not for yourself and, for future opportunities as well. Podcast interviews are great. I've done them myself and I love it. I've met so many people through it and I've had different opportunities just because I was on someone's podcast. And you create relationships with these people and it's great. You can support each other through the harder times of, the seasons of when your content, you work so hard for content and for some reason the fish aren't biting. And that happens. It comes in seasons. It goes with the algorithm changes. It's about the ebbs and flows. But you'll have that extra network and community to help. Yeah, you also want to include fun, relatable content if that's part of your brand, and your business. Lightheartedness, medical niche humor, memes, specific memes to your, if you're a fitness coach, physician, you know, uh, having specific memes of challenges that people have working out, like just getting started is the real problem, etc. And that kind of, makes people reshare, and resharing content is going to be the top way that you can bring in more reach and engagement, is creating shareable, relatable content. Oh, and relatable situations, storytelling, talking about your day. So like almost all the TikTok influencers and Instagram influencers have become viral because of the storytelling and relatable situations that they share with their audience. Like it's just a way of marketing and selling is storytelling. So that is huge. And that's how I built my personal Instagram and how I was able to monetize it and, do different types of media opportunities that it just came to me because I was storytelling, sharing my story and relating to all these people. And that's still my number one, is always storytell and share your story and the triumphs and the challenges. That's just always number one. And you can do it in a fun way. You can do it in a fun, humorous, lighthearted way. You can do it in a more serious way. But you can do it through reels, through your content, carousels, pictures, etc. Even in your stories too. And then yeah, incorporating trending challenges. Some physicians like to dance, do those challenges, some do not. And there's different challenges, there's different trending, things that you can do, trending sounds to your own preference. It's just finding your own preference, your own boundaries, and creating a strategy around everything, including your goals. Always include inspirational, motivational. Part of the success of YouTube, Pinterest, Instagram, and even Facebook is we have had so many challenges the last few years as a country, as a world. And we look for the inspirational, the motivational, especially when a lot of physicians are burnt out, especially burnout in physicians. Like you need that motivation, you need that inspiration to remind you why you're doing what you're doing, why you're on social media in the first place. Um, you know, and incorporating quotes, also motivational, emotional stories, overcoming the storytelling again, and putting like more emotional music. It's just that content is like very highly searched and engaged with. So, and it's really fun making this type of content because you hit the emotions. You want to hit a specific type of emotion in the person, and you can do this with your selling, your courses, and your book too. And then encouragement. You just want your audience to be heard and supported. Like it's not always about sales, making sales or building up and getting followers and the stats and the reach. Like these are real people with real stories and real problems, and they're coming to you and following you because you know they find a light in you and see something in you, and they're attracted to something in you that you're giving to their life and adding to their life and being a positive impact in their life. So you always want to remember that, and always just encourage your audience with the types of challenges that are related to your niche and your specific services, so that they're feeling heard, because everyone wants to feel heard. And then eventually this could transfer over to sales too. But this also is about purpose and impact, social media, connecting with others. So that's just something you want to always keep in mind too, when the stats get, overcome you, when, you're worried because one post didn't get enough likes, or enough comments. Like, don't focus on that. Focus on building the relationships and the encouragement and how you're making an impact in these people's lives. That's the number one thing, and it'll always come back to you 100-fold. Yeah, so another way to create your content is based off, understanding your metrics and your metrics and analytics. And this, luckily, TikTok offers analytics, YouTube does, Facebook does, Instagram does, I think even Pinterest now does too. So having these types of metrics to be able to track and see every month. Now, if you try to track it every day, that'll just stress you out. You want to do it monthly because some posts don't get spread out until 2 weeks. It takes 2 weeks to get circulated in the algorithm in Instagram. So like a post that you did 2 weeks ago could become much more engaged with 2 weeks or a month later. So you always want to kind of look at your metrics every month. And this is how I do for my clients. I create the PDFs analysis, and I do before and after so that they can see the numbers. And then I tell them what it means and what they should be doing and what we can tweak. And what's working and what isn't working. So it's in the insights section in your Instagram. And when you track it and see, your top content, your top engaged content, you want to look and see patterns within your content. Were they similar styles of reels? Were they similar graphics? Was it a similar outline of how you talked, the points that you did, that caused, consistent high reach on all these, posts that were similar? Or is it completely random? So you just always want to find the common thread of, why are you growing? Why is your content, why is this one being more liked? And then you want to mimic it. You want to recreate that type of content. Not say the exact same thing, but you can tweak a few words. Like if it's B-roll, you can put in a different sentence, but essentially do it the same way and see if it, once again, has the high trend of engagement, etc. And so this is where building your strategy, is really helpful, in having someone know how to read it, be able to help you, get started with creating your strategies of content. So you'll see what's working, what isn't working, and then you create the content based. And it is trial and error, like I said, especially when they change the algorithms all the time. Because the algorithm is different types of content. They favor different ways that they spread the content. So it's always good to remember trial and error. One piece of content may not do as best as the other, but that's okay. You're sharing and being authentic to your brand, your niche, and yourself. And that's what's important. And the people that are supposed to see certain posts, they will. The people that, are meant to see your post will. So just remember that, like, no matter what the numbers are, your purpose and your light and your impact is making an impact, whether it's 15 people or 25,000, like, it's making an impact. But you always want to bring your metrics in to your strategy of content, because then you'll know what type of content: educational, funny, storytelling, reels, story posts, what types of story posts, etc. Okay, so like I had mentioned earlier, I didn't think we would have enough time to go through a lot of different specialties, but I wanted to put a few of the top ones so that you guys can kind of see examples of content examples for that specialty. And this can be for you can tweak some of these if you are a related field. Like if you're not an OBGYN, or if you are an OBGYN, but you're more just focused on menopause, you can take some of these just for that. Because I know, each person has a specific niche within their specialty. But these are just general that have done really well with clients and their competitors. So yeah, pregnancy, for OBGYNs, women's health, most important. So pregnancy tips, Things like weekly fetal development. Not everyone knows, the sizes, what things you need to be doing, nutritional advice for expecting mothers, because a lot of expecting mothers are searching everywhere for information and they will consume it. They will purchase, so that they can be the best mom that they can be. So you want to do nutritional advice through the stages, exercise suggestions during pregnancy, for those menstrual health. So many women have problems with menstrual health. They don't even know the basics, some of them. So even just educating them on the basics, managing the PMS, PMDD, tips for tracking cycles, common disorders, fertility and conception, tips to improve fertility, ovulation tracking. Not many women know that too. Success stories with fertility treatments, especially if, you specialize in fertility. That's huge. You want to show the success. You want to give them hope. Menopause, perimenopause, you want to make some of the humorous posts, because every woman goes through that and you got to find the humor or you're going to just cry in some of those painful moments. That's what we found with a lot of the menopause community. They love the humor. But symptoms management stories from other women, support content, lifestyle changes, sexual health, you have to be careful with some of the words when you do talk about sexual health, because they'll flag you. So just look up, Instagram flagged words, Instagram banned hashtags, etc., so that you can know and work your way around sharing more of those hot taboo topics. Prevention tips, and then also testing and labs to get. This is really helpful for a lot of people too, especially if they're new going to OBGYN or have any menstrual health problems. Okay. Yeah, so cardiologists, this is great because cardiologists do really well on social media because, heart health is so huge and one of the leading causes, of premature deaths. So you really want to help educate them on heart health tips, daily habits, exercise, diet, heart conditions, educate them, risk factors, prevention symptoms, also patient stories. No matter what niche you're in, you're always going to want patient stories, client stories, success from whatever treatment, from whatever program you're doing with them. Warning signs, stroke, advancements in cardiology, new research treatments. Those are types of posts that you can post as a cardiologist. Sports physicians, you want to share like injury prevention tips, proper warming and cooling down routines, stretching and flexibility. Not many people know this basic education. We're not taught this unless we get injuries. Rehab exercises, post-injury, how to safely return, athlete nutrition, and you could do meal prep videos, show your protein shakes, what you put in them, hydration, performance enhancement, strength training tips, workout videos. People love workout videos from physicians. Multiple physicians have done workout videos, whether it's strength training, cardio, etc. They just love it. So if you're a sports physician or have any type of business or niche in, physical health, add some workout videos of you doing it and show them your journey. They love it. Those tend to go viral. And then mental health and sports coping strategies for performance anxiety, mental resilience, and then success stories of athletes and talking about like injuries they had. And that once again, you can do green screen reels. And that also, like if they're trending, Olympic gold medalists, you can do it on them. You can always find trending athletes and such, like Wimbledon, talk about certain athletes from Wimbledon, etc. And you can do it seasonally depending on those types of sports events. Dermatologists, there's a lot of dermatologists on social media, but that's because people love it. We want to take care of our skin. We are women. We want to, look our best. And a lot of anti-aging, trends are out there now. And so as a dermatologist or a skin, you know, skin cancer specialist, etc., you want to show up as a leader and teach them the right, products and ways to take care of your skin. Behind the scenes, surgeries, procedure, laser, Botox, if you have med spas, etc. Those videos are top, especially if you have a med spa. skincare tips, seasonal skincare, common skin conditions, reviewing of products. People love that. That's how a lot of YouTubers, makeup YouTubers got to be millionaires, is they just reviewed products and then they created their own line. So a lot of dermatologists can review products and then you just create your own line and kind of follow in that same successful pathway that other people have done. And then, sun protection, anti-aging, skin cancer education, Mohs versus non-Mohs, signs to look for, what to do after a Mohs surgery. Not many people know after you get biopsies, not to go in the ocean, pool, or jacuzzi. It's very simple, but people don't know it. And then they end up having these infections and then, you know, it's complications. Patient transformations before and after. Always want to show that, especially with skin. Tools that you use during appointments, or during surgeries, testings, labs, after procedure care, details, etc. I worked in dermatology and in San Diego here a couple years ago, and I would kind of share some of the products that some of the reps brought, and the education that I learned from working under one of San Diego's top dermatologists, and so many people love that. And I'm not a dermatologist myself. I was just sharing the products and then the education that I learned from working under a dermatologist, and people just appreciated that, loved that. And then, they ask, where can I get this? And then this is also where you can hold a store or have affiliate, where you partner with the specific skin product company that you can sell and get a percentage if you share the type of content like that, and then you share the link in your code. So dermatologists can really be super successful with strategy in their content. Pediatricians are so great because you not only speak to the kids who are old enough to be on social media, but you are really mainly speaking to the parents. And parents, they want to learn as much as they can to be the best parent. So pediatricians always create content for parents too. Child development tips, milestones, activities that support mental and physical development. Solving pediatric cases with me. That has been so successful for the pediatric rheumatologists that I'm helping. They have loved that. And then you can visually see, the parents can see and be educated around some things, especially if they're new parents. Vaccination info, different vaccines that they need growing up. Once again, be careful with this specific topic because people will get shadow banned because of everything that's happened. So you just want to do a little bit of research to see what won't make your account get flagged in any way. But that is really helpful to a lot of people, knowing about the different types of vaccinations as a new parent. Common childhood illnesses, and then like home remedies that they could do, when to go to the ER, when to go to the doctor, medications, risks, nutrition for kids, making healthy meal ideas. This has been a huge one too. People love seeing what they feed their kids. It's so cute. Like they make cute little lunches and then they show, the types of nutrition. So if you're a pediatrician and if you're a mom, show it. Like people love it. Parenting advice, if you're a mother yourself, share your trials and errors, be that support with other mothers. Everyone grows and learns together. It takes a village. And then, promoting healthy sleep habits, that's huge. And then content that speaks directly to the parents. Oh yeah, endocrinologists, huge. There's a lot of thyroid going on in social media, a lot of diabetes. Like people need to learn this. Diabetes management. What's the difference between type 1, type 2, gestational? Different types of pump therapies, emergencies, ketoacidosis, what to look for. People have no idea. General practitioners don't always have, that their first thought isn't ketoacidosis, your child's becoming diabetic. So really educating parents and people what it looks like, and when you need to go to the doctor and what types of tests, like the A1C, that's so important. And it avoids crises. And then, thyroid health, talking about thyroid, really just educating people on that. hormonal imbalances, bone health, patient education, even interpreting common labs, and then like when to see the endocrinologist. This is super important. Gastroenterologists, digestive health tips, foods that promote gut health, common GI conditions like even SIBO, leaky gut, parasites, IBD, IBS, parasites, a lot of GI doctors, those who, uh, have more experience with the parasites, SIBO and leaky gut. I know not everyone specializes in those, but just incorporating all gut diseases is really helpful because they're common. They're so common, especially after having COVID. It really messed up people's guts. Screening, prevention, colonoscopies, what can they expect with their first colonoscopy? What can they expect? Why are they having these gut issues? Is it cancer or is it just IBD or just really bad? You need probiotics. Gut brain connection, mental health. A lot of people are having a lot of mental health issues, and it could be, their gut and their hormones, their chemicals are off, educating about that. Skin and gut issues, you can always partner with dermatologists and, have, talk and collaborate about the skin and gut connection. Probiotics, prebiotics, fermented foods, nutrition. Food allergies is so important to talk about because it's been, increasing lately. And yeah. And then last but not least, this is just some of what's worked and what's not. Posting on feed consistently, at least 3 times, 3 to 5 to really get it ramped up at the speed that you want. If you want like tons of followers quicker, then you're just always gonna have to be posting, which is a lot, especially for mothers, especially for entrepreneurs, especially for physicians. So finding what works best for you is key, but having a goal to work up to it, to get the ramp and the movement going is good. Posting behind the scenes with stories daily, that has always brought more engagement into clients' stories and feed and more followers. Reels, 3 to 5 times per week. If you have 1 reel per week to start out, great. At least 1 reel. But if you want to get quicker moving, 3 to 5 per week. And then creating content that helps solve people's issues. And this, okay, so on the nose, this is, because I've been super busy with helping clients social media that I've put mine on the back burner. But now when I go back to posting on my social media, Medical Minder, it's going to take more time. The algorithm has to warm up again to me. And the same goes for your profile. So you always just want to just stay consistent. Even if you schedule for a month ahead and you just don't go on, and you just have scheduled posts, that's fine. As long as it's still like posting, then the algorithm is still favoring you. Otherwise, you have to keep starting over like me. Not having a strategy with content, you just always should have a strategy, and speak to someone who can really guide you on that. And then it'll teach you and you'll learn how to create your own strategies. Never have poor quality video or photo. Everyone always wants to see aesthetically pleasing videos and content. This is very important. So don't make the sound crackly, don't make the lighting bad, don't put like weird filters that it's blurry. So you just want just great quality. And then this was a huge one, especially with one of the clients in the past. She was so concerned about, making sales that she forgot that she built this great, huge audience of people who were looking, for guidance and support. And so by her making too much sales focused content, she got comments that, oh, you only care about the sales. This person only cares about the sales. And so you don't ever want to come across that way. And you don't ever want to lose that train of thought of purpose. Why are you here and who are you helping? So you don't want to have too much sales, maybe like a few here and there, but you want to intermix it with some other content that I did today. And then last but not least, I'm here to help you if you need help with strategy, or just explaining the metrics, etc., creating your own content ideas. I'm here. You can email me. We could set up a call, etc. But yes, I'm here, and I hope you guys all enjoyed this. And please, any questions you have, just email me or comment in the comment box right now. I think we have a couple of minutes left.
Bella, this was fabulous. Thank you so much, as always.
Yeah.
You did mention B-roll. What's your advice for well, first of all, what is B-roll?
Oh, yes. So there's two types of content for videos. One speaking, and that's when you speak, you see your face. And then there's B-roll, and this goes for, movies, YouTube videos, you see, basically you're in the background typing on a computer, and it can be to music or it can be a voiceover, you talking about something and you're not facing the computer, or you're doing some activity, cooking a meal. And so it can be anything based on your niche. And that's also strategy too, because some B-roll content does well than others. But B-roll is good to incorporate when you're first starting out, though. What I've found is the the talking and asserting yourself and building your foundation and explaining what you do and sharing your education, being that thought leader, your face-to-face videos is the content you need to start out with. And then after you've posted for about at least 1 month, then you can start incorporating some B-roll too, so that they at least know who you are and that they can see your face, because you don't want all your content to be B-roll when you're first starting out. Some people do, and it's fine, for like social media businesses and stuff. But for doctors, thought leaders, people who want to sell things too, you want to have a mix. But the B-roll, yeah, it's great. Once again, you have to play around with it. Some will work, some will not. And you just keep riding on the coattails of the B-roll analytics that you see that does really well. And then you mimic the same, like you do another day, you're wearing a different outfit in a different room on a computer, or you're at a coffee shop on a computer, if it did well. And then you just do the same types of outline for what you put on, like the copy, the caption on the video, but word it differently. So you'll be mimicking it, but having essentially the same outline, and it'll just perform the same because it's like a style of B-roll. But that's more, oh, we have a question. That's more, niche based.
Amy writes, she's a geriatrician dealing with the older population. What content do you recommend? Is it for Amy, I guess the question is, do you think it's for the your patients themselves or their caretakers?
Yeah.
But take it away.
Yeah, you can make, depending on if it is for the caregivers, there's so much you could do for caregivers too. But for advice for, geriatrics, depending on what you offer to them, niche is dementia. Okay, yes. So usually with like degenerative, diseases, dementia, Alzheimer's, you want to educate what is going on, the signs, how early can it start? You want to have your educational content so that they understand what's going on, the different phases of it. And then you can also educate the parent or the loved ones, the husbands, the families, the grandkids. You want to educate them. What can they expect, with your elder who has dementia? What types of, activities, like music is sound therapy, what types of therapies help them through their dementia, what types of triggers, you can do contents on their triggers, because I unfortunately had a family member with Alzheimer's, so there was a lot of different triggers at the different stages of the Alzheimer's. So you can definitely talk about that. So those are just a few things. I'd have to really look at everything you offer and then come up with a specific strategy. But basic education is always the way to go, and you can educate the people themselves what to expect. You can encourage them, give encouragement content. This is challenging what you're going through, but we are here to support. You aren't alone in this journey of going through this. There are ways of support for you. There are resources, giving them patient resources, advocacy. You can talk about advocacy, advocating for your elder who has dementia in the healthcare system. So there's all those different types of different content ideas. Hopefully that answered some of it. And then pulmonologist, hi, also a consultant focusing on deterioration among hospitalized patients. Okay, so yours is very specific, pulmonologists. Yeah, so you want to really focus on education of, you know, what would cause the deterioration among the hospitalized patients, having a prolonged hospital stay, the effects of the different types of treatments, you know, that they're going through in the lungs, the different diseases, educating them on that. You consult, so you would be sharing services, prevention services, basically. So what you want to create then is, well, content that you can show them what you do, who you help, how you help them, do success stories, do stories, transformation stories, what they came in, what you did, the stage of where they're at, if someone came in to prevent it before any signs or anything was going on, you want to help them. You can create freebies, and offer, you know, resources for them, strategies for them, you know, that they can get on your email list. That will be important. But yeah, basically, we'd have to probably go more into detail, because it's more specific. But just educating and being able to talk about the prevention, of the deterioration, because that is important. That's not discussed for those who are in the hospital a long time. So they need to know, you know, the signs, what they need, you know, to know going into the hospital, what their caregivers, their family needs to know as well, to support them as well, because they're going to be taking care of business in different aspects and being there for those patients who are in the hospital. And then just, you know, also doing the freebies, like I said. Hopefully that helps, but email me and we can always talk more in depth, and I can see your website and go more into depth with that. Yeah.
Stella, this was wonderful. Thank you so much once again. We need to touch base offline, because I know that you sent me the email and I just have not gotten back to you.
Sounds good. Oh, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, Sharon. I truly hope everyone has a beautiful day, and email me if you need help coming up with brainstorming ideas.
Always looking like we send it around in our Sunday newsletter, weekly newsletter, which I encourage all of you ladies to do. Take care. Bye-bye. Thank
Hi,
you.
everyone.